How do you personally define spirituality?
I define spirituality as anyone's personal inner belief in exploring themselves, a way of exploring yourselves, if you will. I definitely do think that it can facilitate some spiritual experiences, but not, I mean, obviously, I feel like it depends on what your definition of that is, but even a good feeling like relieving pain or just being able to go to a different headspace is, in my opinion, a spiritual experience, and I think that it's great. I think it's a great way to do it.
Have you personally had any profound experiences while using these substances?
No, I haven't had any profound experiences using these substances, but I definitely think that it can give you intense feelings of certain things.
In your view, how do these experiences compare to traditional religious or mystical experiences?
You know, you can get a spiritual experience doing anything, even meditation, frequencies. There's a lot of crazy studies and people have crazy experiences just exploring certain things, and I definitely think that you can get spiritual experiences without substance use for sure. But I think substance use is definitely it's a fast method to get a spiritual experience, and that may not always be good.
What role does psychedelics and cannabis play in different cultures' spiritual practices?
I definitely think that they are a big thing in certain cultures around the world. I don't have very much knowledge about it, but what I do know some things, like how, natives have shamans going back old times, how, you use certain leaves or certain things to make you feel spiritual experiences. You feel a certain way, heal you in a certain way, which is another big thing about spirituality, is healing.
Do you think psychedelics and cannabis should be more widely accepted for spiritual or religious use?
Yeah, I do think that it should be more widely accepted, because in religious ways specifically, because none of the books say anything about not exploring in a spiritual way. It doesn't say do not eat a mushroom or do not inhale cannabis. Like, it doesn't say anything in a certain way. So I feel like you could definitely get spiritual experiences that are related to religion through these substances, and I think that it could truly be a wonderful thing.
What are some common misconceptions about using drugs for spiritual purposes?
I feel like some common misconceptions could be like, if you take acid or mushrooms, you're gonna see a red dragon, or you're gonna see people coming through the walls, or crazy experiences. Obviously I feel like those things could definitely happen if you took a super big dose of whatever you took, but your trips would usually never extend to that amount of intensity. That's a big common misconception, that you're gonna have this crazy experience that's gonna shoot you through the wall and you're gonna have all this stuff happen to you. But in reality, I don't think that that's true. I don't think that that's what will happen. I think that you're just gonna have to find out.
How do religious institutions generally respond to individuals who explore spirituality through these means?
I definitely think it depends on which culture you choose from. It could be somewhere random where, they do certain things. They smoke cannabis, they smoke leaves, they smoke a certain something, or they eat drink or a certain something, or whatever it may be. I definitely think it depends on what culture or religion you choose from. But once again, it never says do not do this or do not ingest this.
Do you believe the use of substances can lead to long-term personal or psychological growth?
For sure, because I definitely think it can lead to growth, because I feel like you can have very eye-opening experiences in the way of feelings that you've never experienced before, or certain things happening that you've never thought could happen.
What advice would you give to someone considering experimenting with psychedelics or cannabis for spiritual exploration?
Definitely be in a place where you're safe. Be in a place where that you're not gonna freak out. You're not gonna have an episode. A place where you can relax. You're calm, collected. Watch a movie. Fall asleep. Have a good time. Yeah.